Welcome to Joff's World Tour, taking my motorbike Tigger to as many countries around the world as we can get to. In the first episode, we went to the west coast of Ireland, to the westernmost point of Europe. Then in the second episode, we went over to Canada. In this episode, we're setting off to go east to the easternmost point of Europe, which is over on the Black Sea coast of Romania. If you like the video, click subscribe and you'll be amongst the first to see where we go next. Final packing, ready for my next part of my trip. Got my list, got all the things that I need to pack. Making sure I have all the right paperwork downloaded onto my phone. Well, there we go. We're off again. Down to Newcastle for the ferry across to Amsterdam. Just coming on to the Edinburgh Ring Road. Going to meet up with a couple of friends who are going to ride with me for a little bit down the road towards Newcastle. Got Dave riding along behind me just now. You can maybe see him in the mirrors there. Beautiful day for it today. And after I've got onto the ferry tonight, I'll be in Germany tomorrow. That's the plan. So just riding along this bit now. I've got Dave, Bob and Graham with me. They're just going to come down as far as the ferry. I think they're trying to make sure that I go this time. Make sure I don't come back. Just there we can see the nuclear power station, but beyond that some beautiful views of the coast and the sea on a lovely sunny day like today. Bye.
Just waiting in the queue for the ferry at Newcastle. Oh, nice and dry for once, not too slippery.
Well, here I am on board. I'm pleased with this cabin. Look, I have a view right out over the front of the boat, which I wasn't expecting because I thought I was in a cabin without a window, and I've got 4 bunks to choose from as well, which is more than I was expecting. So I'll settle in for a while now, and then it's time to go and get some dinner. Morning. We're just off the coast of Holland at the moment, and it's about time to go and get some breakfast. And by the time I've done that, I expect we'll be pulling in to IJmuiden ferry port, and I'll need to get Tigger going.
Woohoo! Well, this is the part I love. Spending most of my life living on a small island of Great Britain. When you roll off the ferry into the IJmuiden ferry port, suddenly you're riding on a continent that stretches across half the globe. And it's a fantastic feeling, and it's a beautiful day. The sun's shining. There's quite a crowd of bikers here ahead of me. They're all Dutch and German. I had a good night's sleep. I'm going to stop briefly once I get through customs, just to sort out my jacket and my earplugs and my sat-nav and all of that stuff, and then we'll get on the way to Osnabrück. Fantastic. Here we are.
Well, we're through customs. I was expecting the paperwork to be more difficult than that in the post-Brexit world, but friends of mine will recognise the wee place where I've stopped. It's a nice little place to buy cakes and things, so I thought I'd stop for another coffee. I haven't got a long ride today. Osnabrück is only 160 miles away, and I'll be there by lunchtime, but I can't actually get into my Airbnb until around about 4 o'clock, so I'm really in no hurry. I'll stop and see things along the way, but for now I'm just going to get a coffee and take it easy.
Making my way across northern Holland here. I'm just putting up for the time being with the big fast motorways. I've set Tigger's dash 2 kilometers per hour, and that's always a good reminder to me to ride on the right, which I'll be doing for the next few weeks. And I'm taking a long route round to Osnabrück because I'm heading up for the causeway that goes across the Zuyder Zee, and I love riding across that. I've been across it several times on trips to the Assen racetrack. And it's not too windy today, there's a little bit of breeze, so it won't be too bad going across there. And there's a nice cafe halfway across that I'm going to stop at. Meanwhile, I've got these big flatlands of Holland to enjoy, and their busy motorway network. What fun! Just coming up now towards the causeway, and the wind has picked up, so riding across could be a little bit interesting. That's the Zuyder Zee, kind of inland sea that is created by this man-made causeway that joins the 2 halves of the north of Holland. It's a shame. It shows there on the signs that the cafe in the middle of the causeway is closed. We've stopped there before, and looks like they're doing some kind of repair and refurbishment on it. Never mind, I'll have to carry on across the causeway and find some lunch somewhere else. I hope they're not knocking it down. No, it looks like they're repairing it. Don't know how well you can see that on the camera. There's a massive wind farm in the Zuyder Zee there, generating free electricity. It's huge. And here we are, just coming to the end of the causeway now. Crossing the border, entering Germany. So in terms of my world tour, this takes my country count up to 7 so far. Here we are. City Life Apartments. Langstrasse, Osnabrück. And Tigger's temperature gauge says 25 degrees centigrade. Let's go and see if I can get in.
There's a free street outside, there's a few cafes and bars around, so I'll go out and try one of those in a little while. I'll download all my films and things first, charge up all my kit. I'm going to try and sort out my connection between my Garmin and my headset and my helmet. I suspect one of them needs an update, so I'll get that on the Wi-Fi now. And then tomorrow, of course, we're off to Leipzig. Wee bit overcast this morning, so it feels a bit cooler, but in fact I'm already sweating, so I'm just going to get Tigger packed up and we'll get on the road to Leipzig.
So here we go. Time to say good night, goodbye even, to Osnabrück. Make sure I go out onto the proper side of the road. Thankfully the sat-nav and the headset now seem to be talking to each other, which is good. Makes life a little bit easier for me. Rabbit warren here, getting out of Osnabrück. To get myself off Germany's motorway network at last. It's got a great motorway network, but it's kind of difficult to avoid it when you're crossing the whole country. And I'm just now looking for somewhere for petrol, and thank goodness the sun has come out at last.
Just stopped here for some coffee and a sandwich. I've now set the sat-nav to make sure it takes me on some nice mountain roads instead of down the motorway from here to Leipzig. So hopefully a bit more interesting scenery, which is good, and especially now the sun's out. That's great.
Just ridden past a cable car station that would take you up into one of the high mountains just behind me. Didn't look that high from here, but I guess it's a nice day out for people to go up in the cable car. Maybe there's a bit more snow in winter. Well, I'm glad I chose this route. Quite a few bikes gone past me. Sports bikes going up and down here. It's obviously a very popular route with the bikers through the mountains here in the summer. When I stopped for petrol, the lady behind the till handed me a pack of wipes for my visor, which is very good, which shows how many bikers they get going through here. That's something I've never been offered before anywhere that I've filled up with petrol. Look at these roads, look at this weather. Got to watch out for tunnels and rock falls, log lorries, deer. All good fun. Well, back on the motorway for the final run into Leipzig. Sun's shining, the traffic's quite heavy. I'm now in the part of Germany that was East Germany when I was a lad. It's been reunified into a single German state for how long now? Nearly 30 years. But I've never been into this part of Germany before, so I'm interested to see what Leipzig is like. It's very industrial landscape around here. Wind turbines and power stations everywhere, and heaps of slag from mining operations.
Here's Tigger parked, and I'm just in that room there, so I can see him from my window. It's a really warm, sunny day. It's not too hot, it's just kind of pleasant. I'm going to go now, see if I can find some food for this evening and maybe buy something for breakfast for tomorrow. Done 260 miles today, and I think it's a little bit less tomorrow. There's a map of Leipzig here on the wall. I am here.
Well, I'm not sure I made the most of my time in Leipzig. It's quite a big industrial city. I didn't make it to the centre. It's twinned with Birmingham, which probably tells you something about the place. And I've made a nice early start today. Oh, a little bit earlier than yesterday. The sat-nav says I'll be in Wrocław, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, by 1 PM, but of course I'm going to stop on the way. That's the reason I want to set off early. And I've got to stop and get petrol, and I've got to stop and get food and all that kind of thing, so that's fine. The weather a little bit overcast this morning, but it's threatening to get hotter again later. One of the advantages of big industrial cities, I suppose, is that you can very quickly be on the motorway out. So almost immediately I'm on the A38, and it says heading towards Dresden. So we're going to go past Dresden, and that'll be pretty much the last German city before we hit Poland. Not going to go on motorway all the way, but it's the best way of racking up the miles heading east. Just stopped here in Dresden to fill up with petrol. So we came over the hill on the motorway, and you can see all of Dresden set out in front of you. It's an enormous city. I'm glad I'm not going into Dresden. We're just going round the northern side. Can't be far from the Polish border now. I'm not quite sure how far that is, but I think it's on the signs. So that's the next big target, really. Tigger's filled with petrol, and I've had a quick drink. So we're going to get back on the motorway. Not going to be a motorway for much longer, and then we're going to turn off and do some back roads in Poland and see where we get to. Off the motorway to take a quick look at the town of Bautzen because it looked interesting. It's got some churches and spires. I'll find somewhere to park and have a walk around the centre.
What a nice wee town.
Dedicated motorcycle park here. Had a sandwich, a coffee, painted a wee drawing, and now I'm heading back down the road. Heading into Poland. I'm conscious that I'm getting into parts of the world now where very few people speak any English. Or fewer people, anyway. And that's not a problem. I can make myself understood. I can make myself understood by pointing and smiling at things. But it simply becomes more of an issue with striking up conversations with people. And makes me more aware of the downsides of travelling alone, that those kind of casual conversations work really well when you share a common language. But if you don't share a common language, that's when you're pretty much on your own. Berger Tunnel. It's quite a big one. How long was that? Brilliant. Oh, that's me just past the Polish border. I couldn't film it because there was a big truck in the way. But I believe we're now in Poland. Wrocław. I must learn how to pronounce that. Traffic's really heavy, but according to the sat-nav I've just got 10 minutes to go, so this traffic it might be a whole hour, but almost there. Oh, well, the last 2 miles was a nightmare, but here we are. Just need to find the front door, and that's me for today.
That's it for this video. In the next video we'll be going further into Poland and then crossing the Tatras Mountains into Slovakia. If you'd like to see it, click subscribe and you'll see where we go next.